Right, I'm going to talk about different ideas for these films. You know, we've all been through the filming process, or most of the people who are involved in this, and it's all seems very sort of samey now. There's not really any difference. The films, they need to get a famous actor in to be the top person and all that, and I'm wondering why. You know, okay, it might sell the film because they only seem to be interested in money. That means. So let's have a look. Different ideas. Right, the actors. Now we're going the opposite. We're going to get people from all walks of life and select them at random. I've got sort of ideas in my head, and obviously some of them, as I said in the last video, have already been targeted as such. So yeah, and then cameo roles will be done by famous people. And the idea is their management crew say so and so wants you to be in this. They will, especially after the first film, they'll probably all want a bit. Hopefully. But even if they get off the airplane, we could have something set up ready for them just to walk through, do their part, and then carry on to whatever they came to England for. And that is basically how, you know, you don't take up any of their time. They get their charities, money for their charities, because pretty much every single actor's got some sort of charity. So that's how we're planning on doing it. Again, charity, all the actors will be kept on full time. It'll be a proper job, you know, 9 to 5. And when we're not filming, or maybe even doing a series, like a TV series or something, we will be visiting hospitals, opening events, you know, things like that, to not only to promote the film, but to make sure, because I don't know whether you've noticed, but or seen the YouTube videos where got this throat. I think I've definitely got the virus. Yeah, this basically they catch a celebrity at an airport and say, oh, so and so's your biggest fan, she's got cancer and she's bad in hospital, you know. And he goes there, sees the girl or boy or whatever, and the nurses after that are all talking about the huge improvement in their health, and some of them even kick it and survive, you know, kick the disease and are back home. That's the kind of thing we want to do. And obviously if there's any financial problem in the family or whatever, we'll sort that out as well. Pay for drugs, things like that. So it's not just give to charity, here's a fiver. We want to be involved in it. Because remember, the word charity, I've said it in one of the books, the word charity means government can't pay for it. I've got a glossary of words in the back, or thought I had. Not in that one. Might be in the UFO book. Right. I know one of them I've got a glossary of, my own glossary of terms in the back. I thought it was not, well, it's not funny, it's quite serious. Alcohol, gun, policeman, gun law, gun ban, criminal, prison. Where is it? It's probably one of the first ones, because shares, tax, British government. No, it's gone. Right, weird. Comes, I didn't realise I'd done this many. Today's charity. Yeah, there you go. Charity means the government can't afford it. In the real world, that needs to be done is put on. I haven't got my glasses. On the job system, and it's done immediately. That's in the UFO book. But anyway, you don't have to buy that because I've said it all in the video in the UFO series. So it's pretty much everything in the book is on that series, so it won't cost you anything. Here's my glasses. Right, so we've got to charity. Props. Films. Borrow props from various prop people. BBC have got its own big props room. What we'll have is a visitor centre with a museum with all the props in it. From the last film, the vehicles will be lined up there because they'll be in use anyway, because the vehicles carry on throughout the films, and they're all outside my house in Wales at the moment, which I'm going to do a video tour. They're all in pretty not rough condition, but stored condition, should I say, at the moment. But they'll all be put through the workshops on just before filming. So yeah, props. We want all the weaponry, all the costumes, everything on display in a big visitor centre museum. Visitor centre is a separate subject. That's number 8. So I'll tell you all about that when we get there. Anything we don't need, I'll go on to eBay for to go into the charity coffer. Any money made will go into the charity coffer. So that's the prop side of it, and we've got pretty much everything already. The weapons are in Switzerland. All the accessories for the weapons that you can have in this country are all boxed up ready. A lot of the uniforms, they're ready. Obviously we can't buy inner garments and things because we don't know the sizes of some of these actors, so they'll be done on the day. So yeah, we've got all the usual stuff, all the sites, all the demolition equipment, all the radios, pretty much everything is ready to go. Even some of the workshop machinery for the workshop in the Welsh cottage. My house in Wales is too big to be the Welsh cottage house, I'm afraid, so we're going to sell that and buy the small one. And anything else we need as well, so we just don't need our big house anymore. The kids are nearly of leaving age, but they'll be helping out on the film anyway, so whether they like it or not. So yeah, so that's the prop side of thing. We want to buy stuff and then hang on to it for use in ongoing films or for people to look at in a museum situation. Making own equipment. Now in the films or the books, obviously they've got access to SAS. One of the liaison people are for Ross is the a chap in the 22 SAS up at RAF Credenhill here. It's on my way home, and basically, so we can get stuff from them to borrow, but also we've got a lot of our own sights and things and lasers and stuff anyway. So that's the military radios. You've got a lot of that, and we've got these civilian radios, quite a lot of these, that went through a process where they were thinking about using them because they're so reliable, much more reliable than the army ones, I'm afraid, that they actually started producing the army stuff. These are all trials. This is all trials equipment, but with Motorola plugs. So we borrowed a lot of that, and somewhere, I think there's a box around here somewhere. Yeah, there's the British Army system with a strange plug, and that has got an adapter somewhere. That could be it. An adapter to Motorola. So this is all trials equipment. This never went into production. There's another one, another Army one. That's with a special microphone. It's got a Pressel switch. And there's all the usual Motorola stuff too. For here. So yeah, we've got quite a bit of that knocking around. Get in. I haven't got those on today, so there's no one else here. We realised that we can see anyone coming and going on the CCTV anyway. Right, so yeah, props. You know, we've even got stuff down to. There's a lot of ammunition stored. Some in Belgium, some in Switzerland, and we need basically the army to let us use ranges. To do the live firing, so we don't want any blank firing. We want proper recoil, so you can see recoil, not just a gun going like this. We need the, you know, it's got to be proper. So yeah, these, everyone's probably wonder what they are in the back. They're impact grenades. So what you do, they're reusable. Now you think, use reusable grenade, what? Made of titanium. There's your 12 gauge blank, which you can buy without a license, full of flash powder. Put that back on. Now these are impact grenades, they haven't got a time. Pull the pin, release the lever, that toggle there, as soon as it hits the ground, the toggle goes, or hits there, toggle goes like that, hits there, toggle goes like that, hits there, toggle goes in, any way it hits, and then the firing pin, you can feel there, comes out. Yeah. So, that's impact grenade. And that's to disorientate your enemy, basically. But these are, I think you can actually buy these in airsoft shops, so they're not illegal as such. Just trying to get the thing back together is the problem. And it's got a pin that goes in there. Yeah, so yeah. You know, we've got a lot of stuff. These are, I'm not saying who they're made by, but they give them pretty much to us to test as a second opinion, which is, it's online, it's the Project X Test Centre. So we've got our own test centre, where the radio stuff came from too. So yeah, we can get good props in, latest stuff for our actors to use. Making own equipment, like I said, Harry with the workshop will be making a lot of stuff, and obviously looking after the vehicles. And in the visitor centre there'll be the workshop, which will be pretty much almost a replica of the one in so we can use it for filming too. So we might have to buy 2 lots of stuff. Or at the Welsh Cottage you might just have a doorway in where you see people go in, and then all the filming's done at the visitor centre in London. So yeah, that's so we'll have that workshop set up as it is in the films for people to walk round who visit the visitor centre or museum. And they'll be making pretty much everything and putting together our own guns. We'll buy the guns in pieces and assemble them, because S80, M4, GPMG, various rifles are all quite easy to take to pieces and put back together. So obviously there's some bits we don't know, because here we've only got DACs where the barrels are welded and breech blocks are welded and all sorts, but we know roughly how they work anyway. So yeah, so that's pretty much all the different ideas. I haven't put filming method here because that's its own, mind you, that won't take up so much space. I think I'll add it onto this filming method. I'll take it off. It was number 9, but I'll call it something else. I'll use number 9 for something else. Filming method. We've been in touch with Sony, and they're producing 8K cameras eventually. They may have already done it. This was quite a while ago. They're basically an SLR with a system to keep it still, or you can have it mounted to you, or lots of different things. You can have it on a trolley if you like. You put a big SD card in, 256 or a 510, is it 516K, whatever, and basically so you can film for quite a long time in 8K. Now we'll have probably 4 camera people milling around, and what we'll do, we'll say to the actors, I think I've said this before, this is what's got to happen. Not give them lines. And then, once they've done that, they go into the scene and do what we've said, even improvise if they want to, and we'll keep doing that until I think I've got all aspects of what we need for the filming. So we take all those SD cards back to the visitor centre where the editing suite will be, and do the editing there. So yeah, it's quite a. These don't have to be actors, you see. That's why they have to be normal people who don't get used to filming and don't even notice the camera's there. A bit like Big Brother. So you know, we don't want actors and actresses as such. We don't want big expensive cameras, and there's somebody said that one of the cameras they use for filming, the body, you have to hire them, because the body is 210,000 before you buy the lenses and stuff. Why? You know, I know it's for accuracy, but I think Sony can do a good job. And not only that, but you know, we've seen the results of some of these 4K cameras are just amazing. And you know, sorry, there's a knocking sound. Yeah, so that's the filming side of it. So what we need for filming is probably 4, 5 or 6 people who can operate cameras in a straight line, know what they're doing, and even if they have to learn on the job, you know, or if they're at college or something, that's fine, because we don't want like a filming situation, because we're not going to have dramatic music, or you know, it's going to be, that's another thing, music, forgot. Now music will only be heard in the films if it's put on by one of the actors, i.e. they get in the car, they put the music on. But I did say in one of the other videos, Harry in the workshop makes a very, very loud backpack Bluetooth runs from his phone, and the music on the phone, or someone else's phone, one of the other actresses. On his back is a huge battery, huge amplifier and speakers. And they use that when they're going into... But the inspiration came from one of the Vietnam films, can't remember which, Platoon or something, where this chap put loudspeakers on the helicopters and put on some dramatic classical music as they all went into battle, shooting up this village. And that music came from there. I don't know how they did it in Vietnam, but I think they only had record players in Vietnam. But anyway, a record wouldn't have stayed, the needle wouldn't have stayed on in a helicopter, I'll tell you. So maybe it was a tape machine, I don't know. I can't remember. It was that long ago, I can't remember. All I remember is this music coming on, and these helicopters coming over with this music. So that's what we're going to do with the backpack. It's going to be on Harry's back, and we're going to go into some of the operations with that music blaring. Hasn't happened in book 1 or 2 yet, but that's one thing. So yeah, getting into a car, they'll put the music on. Sitting at home, they'll put the music on. In the workshop, music on, you know, but no huge orchestra in the background doing all this jiggery-pokery that actually, you know, drives you mad. It's got too much recently. Very, very, very well done and timed perfectly and everything, but you're thinking, right, God, all they're doing is sitting there in the rain. They're not, you know, they're not in any danger or anything. And there's all this dramatic music because it's raining, you know. Anyway, they're the different ideas. So where we get the actors from, how we do the charity work, where we get the props from, different. We haven't got a props department. It's all real stuff. Making some of our own stuff that we can't get, we'll do the props, but they'll all be real and very, very, you know, like for instance in the A-Team where they welded steel plate to a car and called it a tank, you know, very, very great when you're a kid and that, but you think, God, how naff after. Nobody ever died with the guns. There's a lot of shooting going on and no one died. It's quite funny. No one hit anybody, but that's obviously to get the right audience and to be politically correct, which is fine, you know. Filming, completely different. Digital SLRs, 8K, lots of people filming, and then you get the best of the filming at the end. And the music, no music unless it's put on. Maybe a bit of music at the beginning, you know, but we want non-standard. We don't want your usual orchestra, which are orchestras are the most fantastic things, but they're great while you're sitting in an audience listening to them, you know. Anyway, so that's the different ideas for the filming. Might upset some filming unions and all that, but we're not too bothered about that. Okay, thanks a lot.